I feel like it's been a while since I shared an update, so for supporters and followers of Dresden 1957, this video is for you. Thank you for your interest and for your commitment to this project. We wouldn't be this far without you. If you're new to Dresden 1957 and you want to know what this is all about, you can visit our website, www.dresden1957.com. The link is in the description. The homepage tells you all about our documentary project. The About page gives you the history of the Dresden tragedy, and the blog has lots of news and articles about this project. So now on to the update. So right now I'm focused on three things: a script, a fundraising, and creating short pieces of content so that we can keep growing our audience. And as much as possible, I'm still researching, I'm calling potential interviewees, and laying the groundwork for the next steps in production. Today, I want to tell you what I'm doing about fundraising, because everything else will depend on that. And when I say everything else, I might just as well say the script, because that is where I'm not just shaping the story, but also creating a detailed breakdown of everything that we still need to make this film. This is the script draft from last year, which gave us a shot list for filming last summer. It was serviceable, but before we can start any serious editing, we need a really strong final draft, and that's what I'm working on right now. So what about fundraising? We need to raise about $200,000 or more to complete this film, or at least get us close enough to complete that I can safely take out a loan for the last details. When the film is close to the point where we can sell it to broadcasters or streaming services, that's when I would feel comfortable borrowing, say, $60,000, because we can reasonably hope to get that money back from licensing the film. What $200,000 will do is allow us to focus exclusively on this project for at least a year. Right now, Joe is doing other work. He has to pay the rent just like all the rest of us. So he can only work on our next trailer-ish video in his limited free time. And by the way, that is going to be a really great video. It will be the first video that kind of tells the whole story in one shot. So it's an important piece, and we want to get it right. But going forward, there is a lot of detail work in shaping this story, finding the right clips for our interviews, our footage, the archival material. When we have funding, Joe and I will be very, very, very busy with that. Related to that are the pickup shots we need, including some interviews we still want to do, landscapes and recreations. And then there's searching through archives for specific shots that we don't have yet, like immigrants arriving, or the whole building of modern Ontario theme. For films that have multi-million-dollar budgets, you can buy or make just about everything you need. We don't have that, and frankly, I don't want that. Southwestern Ontario is so underserved in film. It's such a beautiful part of the country, but it's so rarely featured in cinema. And that is especially true for the history of this region. And there is so much archival material if you're willing to do the legwork to find it. I mean, we even found news footage of the Dresden cave-in. I never dreamed of that when we started this project, but we found it. And what a testament that is to the work of earlier generations to document our history. The Dresden cave-in happened around 7 p.m. in the evening, and a film crew from London was on site before the sun had even gone down. That's crazy. It would be hard to get there in time with today's roads and vehicles. They did it in 1957. Now, what I'm saying is that we're not only saving money by doing our own research for primary sources, we're showcasing material that should be known and seen. And continuing the theme of what do we need $200,000 for? Well, of course, there are people with specialized skills that we need to complete this film. We've already lined up a 3D artist who will help us to build the 3D models that illustrate the riverbank and the excavation, the progress of the excavation. This evening, I'm meeting with another film graphics designer about creating graphics and titling for this film. We haven't yet chosen someone for the music, but I have some ideas for that already, and I'm speaking with a few composers about it. There's also the sound design, including voice actors. Some of the scenes in the film will be created just with sound, like a radio play. For example, moments in the inquest, or soundscapes like immigrants arriving at Pier 21. And there's still some filming and recording we need to do in the Netherlands, so I'll be there with a skeleton crew for a few weeks at some point. Raising at least $200,000 will allow us to complete or almost complete all of that. So how, you may ask? How will we raise that money? The short answer is by dividing it into bite-sized pieces. Specifically, I'm approaching 3 different categories of potential funders looking to raise $80,000 from each of them. First, there are organizations and people concerned about workers and worker safety, such as trade unions. Then there are community and church organizations who care about honoring the sacrifices made to build our communities and preserving stories like this for future generations. And finally, immigrant groups and individuals who've been successful in Canada, like, for example, Dutch farmers and businesses that have grown into large operations today. I've started reaching out to organizations in the first 2 groups, and I look forward to speaking with individuals in the 3rd group soon. And of course, if you have suggestions for any of the above, please reach out to me. If you don't have my contact information, please use the contact page on Dresden1957.com. What about crowdfunding again, you might ask? Well, if you're watching this, you're at least aware of our successful crowdfunding campaign last year, if not a contributor yourself, and if you are, thank you. Let's say that crowdfunding is our backstop option if any of the others don't reach their goal. If we do crowdfunding, it might be a smaller campaign focused on specific pieces of equipment that we still need. For example, last year, crowdfunding allowed us to purchase a large storage system, which Joe is currently using for editing. We've already shot 15 terabytes of video files, and that amount is still going to grow. The system that we purchased, and if you're interested in that kind of thing, it's a QNAP network area storage. It's really good, but it's not really fast enough for intensive editing. So we'll need to buy a new, faster system for Joe, and I can use the current one. As director, I'm already accessing all of the media regularly and doing some of the organizational editing and cleanup, but I don't need the kind of performance that the editor does. A new, faster QNAP will cost us around $8,000 Canadian. It's the most expensive item that we still need. Less expensive items will probably include a small drone for more aerial footage, an action camera, for example, to get shots from the hood of a moving car without risking our expensive cameras, a new light, and we need to do some repairs for our microphones. So if we do any form of crowdfunding, it would be specifically for things like that. But like I said, the focus is on new categories of funders. Ideally, this project will be supported by a wider web of interested individuals and organizations. There's a special power in that. I want to involve the community in creating this film, and I want to involve the community in showing this film. So when we're done the film, we can take that on tour. And in fact, for some organizations or community groups, we may be able to do a kind of a pay it forward. If there's a group that's supporting this project, I'd love to come back, do a screening for them in the future, and that screening can be used to raise funding for something else that they're supporting. We can use this as a kind of an economic cycle of creating and nurturing our stories as Canadians. I hope this gives you an idea of what we're working on now and why we're so busy. And that's kind of the nature of this process. Making a film it just doesn't happen overnight. And that's why we're so grateful to have a large community of supporters. This truly is a team effort. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything I've said, or maybe questions about things I didn't say, anything that you want to know more about. And let us know if you have suggestions, or if you know someone that you think could help, whether with funding or with the hard work of fundraising, or just leave a note to say hi. It means a lot to hear from you. Your support really means everything. Thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing from you.